No, but I think at this stage, let's just start.
It says it's live. It has
No, no,
started.
it's live, so I'm sure. No, no, so it is live. I'm sure that in the YouTube link we will be seen, but yours is just an icon at this stage. But
Oh,
you know,
okay.
at this stage, that's fine. Let's just go ahead. We'll see you because I want to
Okay.
get this.
Yeah, is it okay now?
Yes, perfect,
Is
perfect.
it okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It's a neutral background.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Performance Gurus channel. We are here today with M R Venkatesh as a noted writer and commentator. MRV, welcome to PGurus channel. I'd like to start off with I'm sorry, I'll start it again. MRV, welcome to PGurus channel. I'd like to start with where you left off when we spoke with you the last time, which is about the Tamil Nadu polls. This was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I think what you were mentioning was that it is going to take more than just social media to win seats in BJP in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
Now, how do you read the situation now?
That was a very fundamental statement. It was a motherhood statement, and I hold it on that you can't win elections not only in Tamil Nadu. I think whether it is Zimbabwe or Nigeria or US, I'm sure that you can't win elections only through social media. Yes, you can create a ruckus, you can create issues, you can push across your points, but elections in this country will be won, especially in Tamil Nadu, only by using the streets to your fullest, which means that you have to raise the issues in the street, you have to dominate door-to-door canvassing, you have to raise the ideological issues, you have to play the card, you have to play sorts of things to go to the simply to ensure that when you elections, that's no way possible.
So what's your gut feeling about how this election is going to play out?
See, you have to understand whether it is rain or storm, Jayalalitha, Karunanidhi all have a particular vote bank. They are not going to come and vote for you whether Mr. Trump wins in US or whether Mr. Trump loses US Republican elections. They are going to be with Karunanidhi or Jayalalitha, as the case may be, thick and thin. Now, there is also a swing vote. Now, where it will go, how it will pan out, this time we are seeing a huge anti-incumbency wave, not only for Jayalalitha, even for Karunanidhi. It is an anti-incumbency not only for the ruling party, but also for the opposition. So my guess is Jayalalitha will poll around 35-37%. How it will pan out? And even the worst case, the best case scenario for Jayalalitha will be she will be polling 40%. The balance 60%. If Karunanidhi is able to take 40% of the balance, then it's a neck and neck game. But if he's going to stay at say 33, 32 or something like that, and the others get divided, then it's home and dry for Jayalalitha. So it depends on how the opposition is able to garner the anti-incumbency. And believe me, there's a huge anti-incumbency, unprecedented anti-incumbency. People are now starting to question not only the Dravidian parties, they are even questioning the system. So the system is under tremendous stress. And these two parties have put the system under some enormous stress, and I do not know how the turnout will be and what type of mixture is going to come out, how the youngsters are going to vote. There is a huge anti-Dravidian party vote also, let us not miss it. But how that will actually pan out and whether they see finally Mr. Karunanidhi delivering the results for Jayalalitha, that Jayalalitha option. And just it reminds me of what Cho Ramsamy said perhaps 2-3 decades ago. He said death is certainty for the Tamil Nadu electorate. Whether to die by poisoning or whether to die by hanging is the issue. And that is why they vote alternatively between DMK and ADMK.
Well said.
So that's not my statement. I'm putting the credit to Mr. Cho Ramsamy.
Speaking of Cho Ramsamy, how is he doing now?
I'm told his health is very fragile, but I only pray, and all of us who are connected to the politics pray for his long and healthy life, and let us all pray. I think so that our prayers are with him, and that is sustaining him for long, and that will sustain him.
Thank you. The next question that I have for you, MRV, you have been involved a fair amount in essentially looking at tax havens, how the money is getting routed through tax havens and so on. PGurus has been actively in the forefront trying to objectively look at the Augusta Westland judgment that came out on April 9th. And we have been carrying out a series of articles trying to pinpoint where all some under invoicing or over invoicing, as the case may have happened. In just today, we talked about the possibility that there was not just the 30 million euros that has been bandied about, but there is an additional 28 million euros that was supposed to be set aside for a success fees to, they call, family. Now, in my investigations through the judgment, I'm sorry to be long in terms of giving the question. I'm just trying to set up the platform here for the question. In my long investigation, going just through the judgment, what I've noticed is a lot of pointers are pointing towards Mauritius. But from Mauritius, it's like a dark hole. We really can't find out what is happening from there on. So can you please shed a little bit more light on, if something goes into Mauritius, how does, let's say if you were a part of ED, how would you take up the trail from that point forward?
Okay, two questions on this. First one, I had a good look at the pricing portion of it. Give you a perspective, we purchased somewhere around 75 Pilatus aircrafts around the same price of 3,700 crores or 3,600 crores. Wow. That means one Pilatus aircraft came at around 50 crores, which is a trainee aircraft, but an aircraft which with all your avionics and a student. So all these things we purchased at around 50.
I see.
I'm also conscious I'm not comparing apples with orange. I'm conscious of the fact. But definitely there is something more than a chopper that can cost 300 crores. So a chopper cannot cost 300 crores. So definitely that brings me to the classic evidence of classic saying or the adage amongst all investigators that absence of evidence is not evidence of its absence. So there must be definitely a trail that will go beyond Mauritius. Now, how do you handle Mauritius? Now look at it. Mauritius is some sort of India's ally. Now, in this 70 odd tax havens across that litter across the globe, if at all there is one tax haven that is ally, it's going to be Mauritius. Now, if you are not able to ferret information from Mauritius, how are you going to get it from Cyprus or Gibraltar? Definitely, it's no way. See, up to offenses, but beyond this, there has to be a political play, and that political play has to ensure that we get evidences. Of course, we have to go to the banks, and all these are electronic records. All these have electronic trails. We can get this information provided there is a political will, and political will with a capital P.
I think I couldn't have said it better myself. You are absolutely right. That was what I was afraid of. But I think you are right that Mauritius is reliant on India for a lot of its business. And the fact that by 2017, I read somewhere that Mauritius is not going to enjoy the tax-free status that it is enjoying currently, which means it will have to do something more to still be able to generate this kind of revenues. What are your thoughts on that?
See, Mauritius by nature, by definition, is not that much a pedigree tax haven. It is basically a tax haven that is a tax haven only for the purposes of India. There are certain specialized tax havens. For example, you have tax havens in the Caribbean that cater mostly to the US.
Right.
There are some which are, so for example, Monaco and other things will be primarily to the European continent. There will be some for China, and there are some for world over. But in Mauritius, if you look at it, the Indo-Mauritius Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement was signed in 1981 on 1st April. You must also, April is very interesting. 1981, and but that time we didn't even open our foreign direct investments and FIIs, and there was nothing called participatory notes. So the tax structure was first laid out before we actually devised this participatory notes and other things. So the point I'm emphasizing here is that Mauritius as a tax haven is basically an adjunct. So it's created by Indians. Tackled, and how Mauritius tackles its economy, its problem. And I'm very glad yesterday I think the new government from India has negotiated for the end to the double tax avoidance agreement, which was avoiding capital gains both in India and in Mauritius. And in a way they have given a quietus to the Azadi Bachao Andolan judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. So in that way it's a good one, but it is prospective, it is not retrospective. We can still get out information. Mauritius will give you information, provided we ask it in the manner it has to be asked, both legally and politically.
So, is there going to be a blowback or a fallout?
Sorry.
Last question. Is it okay? One more question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is there going to be a fallout because of this Mauritius route being closed? Do you foresee an FII drop or an FDI drop?
See, technically, I think we have come to a stage where the world cannot ignore us. I can understand we are giving some sops like Mauritius Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement in 91 when we opened our doors. But today, come on, we are 2016, and I am not sounding arrogant, but the world has no place to invest in India. If we genuinely believe that we are the engine of growth, if we genuinely believe that we are going to be a world leader, we rather behave like what we are hiding in the of Mauritius avoidance, Singapore avoidance agreement. We rather behave and say that please invest in India. We are one of the fastest growing economy. We have infrastructure, we have labor, we have market, we have skilled people, but we also have taxes. You can better pay your taxes for the civilization, for the infrastructure, for the quality of people that you get.
Thank you very much.
So if you have like a world leader and an engine of global growth, I don't think we need to be arguing on these type of artificial props.
That was very profound. I agree with you. I mean, for India to go from whatever now the 2 trillion economy to maybe to become a double-digit trillion economy, some of these things, the transparency has to go up, and a clear statement that this is clear. This is the path India is going to take, and we are open for business and come do business with us. I think those are excellent goals.
And we can't say that Singapore is hiding information, whereas we encourage participatory notes whose owners are unknown. So what Singapore is doing in a systemic way with banks, we are doing with a particular instrument. So in what way are we different from Singapore in Switzerland?
Yes. So I think maybe this is the first step towards abolishing participatory notes altogether. The fact that they are making Mauritius take away the status of having been a tax-free nation. So let's hope for the best. I think
thank you,
thank you so much, and it was very nice talking to you. Hopefully next time we'll have a longer duration to chat and cover a wider subject areas. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasure.